friends, and welcome to The League, exploring the League of Legends lore from A to Z. My name is Rebecca.
And I'm John.
My name is Mark.
Today, we are going to be talking about our predictions for the second half, basically, of 2025. Our lore predictions, I guess I should specify.
The second two-thirds.
Yeah, kind of the second two-thirds. As I was putting this together, I think it would be really fun to do it twice a year, at the beginning and then the halfway point, because we're probably going to have to reevaluate what our lore predictions were, and I think that'll be really fun.
Yeah.
But doing it this time, it was really nice to have the Noxus client event to kind of jump off of, and that's what I did. Most of my lore predictions are related to that. Mm-hmm. I only have 5, I think. Yeah, I don't have a ton.
I also have 5.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we both have 5.
Okay.
How many you got, Mark?
Yes, 23.
I got a little bit more. Well, I will say that, because I thought, okay, let's do stuff related to season 2, right? And what's going to happen in the immediate, and then maybe some broader stuff around season 3. And season 3 was, I thought, more of just jumping off discussion points of here's some ideas for things maybe that might happen. That. What do y'all think?
No, I love
Workshop
that.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with our season 2 predictions then, because that's really what I focus on. I really didn't focus on season 3 so much.
And season 2, we're saying the Ionia.
Yes,
okay.
Which is coming in about a week, I think it's going to start, something like that, or 2 weeks, I'm not sure.
I think so, I wish I'd checked.
I was looking at ranked, and ranked ends in 6 days, it was saying. I did have the client open for this, that helped a lot.
Sure, yeah.
Well, I have one.
Sure,
let's throw it out.
So, at least one more champion is going to make the leap from TFT to League.
Oh, interesting.
Who do you have?
I hope so. Do you have someone in mind? Yeah.
I do.
Ooh.
A Yordle named Kobuko.
Okay.
So, here's a little bit of information about Kobuko. He's a jolly Yordle from Bandle City. Kobuko spent years exploring the world and discovered that it is often harsh and unfair, and his search to understand this led him to Ionia, where he fell in love with the culture, the people, the environment, and the philosophies, and then added his own brand of Yordle eccentricity to the mix. Now he travels across Runeterra, seeking to help others find joy and value in life, even through adversity, and encouraging those he meets to pursue their dreams, do what they love, and explore new possibilities.
Okay.
I just looked him up, and I like his visual design a lot.
Yeah, he's very distinct, right? He's got the silhouette going for him.
He does. He got the League look too, right?
And he's been in 2 separate sets of TFT now. He's a returning TFT exclusive.
Oh,
but what I was going to ask is that we've seen. I don't know, did you see the little cover image they had for the Xinjiao motion comic that's going to be coming out?
I did not, no.
I did have that there's going to be another motion comic for Ionia, but...
Well, you're 1 for 1 so far. But the thing that's on there is what looks like Kennen on that cover. Potentially unmasked and stuff. It's hard to say because there is no mask, and so who knows what Kennen looks like under there. But
it could be anything under there.
But if he either gets involved, or I think my prediction is that he'll just be a cameo for that motion comic. But if not, maybe this guy, what was this guy's name again? Kobuko. Maybe you use Kennen as a means to getting more Yordles involved, right?
I love that. I was really trying to think of who's going to be at the center of all of this stuff from Ionia. And Xinjiao does make the most sense, I guess, huh? Because he does have ties to Noxus as well, a bit.
Yeah.
And we're coming from Noxus here.
Right. And have you read the LeBlanc story?
No, actually. Not yet.
Have you, Mark?
I have not either. I probably should have. That might have helped. I think we were going to do it for a later episode.
Because we're doing it next week. We're talking about LeBlanc.
Yeah, I should have.
I did read it in prep. And, I mean... I don't think they're really spoilers for it because, it's just the story. But Xinjiao's in LeBlanc's story, too.
Okay. Oh, that's riveting. I'm very excited.
I'm really curious now. I mean, I remember when we were looking at that cinematic, there was some talk of could it be a spear? And I didn't think so when we looked at that darkened weapon, but... I mean, if you're gonna...
It looks like a glaive, I would say, so spear-like.
Glaive, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm open to it.
I mean, Xinjiao has ties to Noxus, Ionia, and Demacia. So, I like this idea of him being in here, because...
Yeah. Now, one of the things, too, is in the story, I mean, he was in Demacia in the story, and LeBlanc was being a gardener in the Demacian castle. But one thing she mentioned was like he was looking longingly towards where Ionia was.
Oh.
Yeah, that would, because, okay, well, I guess that would tie into the name of the motion comic, which is Pilgrimage. So
I love this. Oh, I'm
now,
excited.
I wondered if maybe he would go along with Sona and Lady Bellevue.
Ooh, that'd be great. Yeah,
That would
Since
be
they're kind of already going there anyway.
the best idea if
thought.
Riot remembers that Sona and what's her name are headed in that direction.
Her mom.
Because I'm going to be honest, I don't know if they're aware.
I feel like probably not. I think they would have been on that cover of that motion comic. But who knows? Maybe this is like they've already parted ways. They're going to go do their thing, and he just kind of came with them as a kind of, because he's already done, like, does the bodyguard thing. I think when we did the Sona episode, we even talked about this idea. I feel like, but
Man,
now I'm really curious.
That would have been a really good early prediction for us.
Well, we can still make it now. I don't know. I was really curious because broadly, from that cinematic, the reaction that we did, check it out on YouTube. We just posted a reaction to the Dark Gambit one. Was it? I really liked what had kind of come up there of that. This is probably not a full-scale Noxus invasion, but a Black Rose sort of SEAL Team 6 going in to retrieve this. I predict at least it's going to be a part of that team. This is my prediction for this Black Rose situation.
That would be
And I thought also there would be go ahead.
Oh, no, go for it.
I was going to say also there'd be a Team Ionia kind of racing against the clock to find it or retrieve that Darken weapon first. So maybe they find it. Xinjiao takes it back with him to Demacia. Although it seems, if he's going to go back, I don't know, maybe it'd be weird for him to take a giant fuck-off Darken weapon there.
Now, that is kind of tied to one of my predictions.
Mine too. Go ahead.
Oh,
I'm
I
excited.
wonder what yours is.
Yeah, me too. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. You want me to go first?
Yeah.
I was going to say, and I think this might go against maybe popular fan theory, I do not think we're getting a new Darken champion this year. I think this is going to be a quest item that gets kicked around a bit. I think we are eventually going to get a new Darken champion from that weapon, but I don't think it's going to be this year.
Okay.
This was a big question mark for me. I honestly, I think I was more going to predict the opposite, but as we're talking about it, I think that it makes more sense, like you said, that it's something that gets carted around and that Xinjiao tries to like hide away, or like maybe there's like a vault full of petrocite or something that he thinks could contain this Darken situation.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Now,
I
I
like
do
that.
think I had a few things. First of all, I think the weapon's going to be in the spirit realm.
Okay, that would make sense for Ionia. That could get Yone involved as well. And I kind of just always assume that Yasuo and Yone are going to be involved, or at least one of them, because Riot seems to love them.
Yeah.
I think everyone does. I think we're going to have another Y character involved.
Yee.
Yunara.
The new one.
Oh, right, the new champion. I don't
cinematic.
think I knew her name.
Who is kicking around in the spirit.
That's true. Maybe
realm, right?
they'll favor the new champion over any of the old ones that can actually go in and out of the spirit realm. That sounds like something Riot would do.
Well, you got to get your new champions out there somehow.
Yeah, got to get their skins. Now, for the record, a few reasons I think this. One, obviously, the new champion being in the spirit realm is kind of a big one. Two, when Otacon's talking to LeBlanc, he specifically says that she can claim her prize in his land, which, one would imagine that's kind of the spirit realm, just because that's where the Ozacon are hanging. And when they talk about going to Ionia, LeBlanc says that Ionia is just a doorway to where she's going. So I do think...
I feel like if it's not in the spirit realm, none of this would make sense then.
Right, it's just a bunch of fucking needless red herrings.
There's just an actual big door.
Right. Yeah.
Now, my other big prediction on this one, and this could be a miss, we'll find out. They do mention they don't have a host anymore, and I assume that host is related to a host for the Darken, and which I think we all kind of assumed that it was going to be Borm Darkwill or something adjacent before he got. I think the new host is going to be someone that we have met already, but not a champion.
Mark.
And I have a few ideas, and it looks like Mark has a few ideas too.
I don't have ideas.
Those
I don't
have ideas, I know.
I agreed on. Okay, then I think you got it. I think it's like I couldn't think through the list of people who are people we know but are not also champions.
Trying to think of people who were named in the Mbessa novel. I think could be a possibility because I feel like they intentionally put some people's names in. We talked about it. There's a lot of characters in the Mbessa novel that you're trying to follow, and not everyone is like incredibly relevant to what's happening. So I had thought that maybe the author was told to put certain names in there. That maybe one of them would be.
I could see that.
Okay.
I'm curious.
I think someone
John,
in the
who would you
Medarda
list?
family would be interesting.
There's not many of those left.
I know, but that would tie him out.
So here are my thoughts.
Okay.
I'm not ruling out Otacon itself as a possibility.
And then that could change the map in some way too.
See, that's interesting because I thought Otacon. We'll talk about it later. Let's go through your list
Okay.
here.
I'm not ruling out that Otacon could be the host, which would mean that Otacon would then become a champion in whatever twisted form, the
That's pretty
darkened.
fucked up.
Maybe Faye, who knows?
That would break my heart. Don't even.
I thought maybe Teneth or Erath from the Sisterhood of War, since they were already sent by LeBlanc to Ionia specifically to retrieve Riven, and then at the end of that story, they successfully got her and brought her back to Noxus. So they're still kicking around Noxus somewhere, and they successfully finished a mission for LeBlanc. So
She didn't get a lot of those.
They may be her only wins right now. And then the last guess is also tied to the LeBlanc short story.
Oh.
I put Kalan as a potential. He is the one who took Syndra's place in the dreaming well. He was kind of the guardian of the it was called that, right? The dream well or the dream something.
The dreaming pool.
The dreaming pool. He was the guardian of the dreaming pool, and then when Syndra escaped, Syndra put him there instead.
Right.
In the LeBlanc short story, we find that there's not one, but two LeBlanc clones also guarding over the dreaming pool. So I would not be at all surprised if she were to wake him up and then, even just explain the situation. Like, hey, you're going to host a Darkin. It's way better than where you're at, right? Or do you want to go back there?
It's kind of real shitty backstory, that poor guy.
I kind of like it. That one rings the most close to the mark of the ones that have been presented. I'd be interested in, especially it's a weird thing for them to specifically mention the dreaming pool if they didn't have plans for it, right?
Yes, because that could have easily been forgotten.
Yeah, they only mention I think 3 specific things in the story. I guess 4 if you count the White Room where Otacon's they have Sinjao in Demacia. They've got the dreaming pool.
It's okay, we'll talk about it next week.
I forget the third one, honestly.
Sure. Yeah, I'm curious. For Otacon, I actually thought this kind of ties into changes they're making for in the game where they've kind of introduced this new. I don't know if y'all have looked at any of those changes around Otacon. Where he's got the new form, and then I think what it is that when you slay him, it purifies all of the blood petals across the map or whatever. So I assume at some point he's going to get in some way spiritually, spirit realm purified and taken off the board. I like
that
I think
a lot.
Otacon will be killed at some point. Right?
Yeah,
by
set
Shin,
free,
maybe.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I think that would make the most sense for him.
Yeah, he's had a rough run of it.
Rough run.
Let our boy sleep.
His goo, he's all gooed out. He has a goo deficit, right? Instead of a goo surplus.
Sloshing around.
Right. Let's see. What else I have going on here for this?
I know, I'm trying to think.
Yunara. I thought Yunara and Shinjao, either Yunara might get pulled out of the spirit realm, or you maybe have an Alun or frequency type situation where they're kind of they're having to. That's the metagame that they're going to do. Is it's going to be a co-op 2-player, one person sees something in the physical realm, one person sees something in the spirit realm, and you have to work with a friend to go through
those are my favorite fucking games.
John loves that shit.
I play those
asynchronous
all the fucking
puzzler
time.
or something like that.
Yeah. God, I hope you're right about that one.
I was thinking there would be a new in-client game as well, like Demon's Hand, but not a card game. I was thinking maybe it'd be more like Mahjong or something.
Okay.
I'd be down.
Maybe the solitaire version, or?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know anything about Mahjong. I was just thinking of the style or a game,
I see.
like that. I don't know how to play it.
Mechanically, it's Metroid, but it's done in like a Mahjong style.
But I thought they might do another game like that because I think people really liked Demon's Hand.
It'd be cool if
Yeah.
they could do something like what's his name? Shinji? Is that, I don't know if you're familiar with they played a lot in like in anime. And it's in
I don't think so.
it's in Yakuza too. It's kind of like Japanese chess almost.
Oh yeah, where it's like they're like pointed, kind of
Yeah.
like, and it's like that's the shape of the pieces. I'm familiar. I've seen it.
I forget the name. It's something like Shinji, but I'd be interested in a game kind of like that. I feel like that'd be cool. Some league version of that.
That, or even like a turn-based situation, like you got all your little Black Rose or your little Ionia agents trying to stop the other one from retrieving.
It's like Risk.
Getting the thing. Yeah, something like that.
You should have a bunch of Black Rose agents. Walalo, walalo, walalo. Just turning people into Black Rose.
Let's see what else we got going on here. I think that's mostly it. The big hanging thread also was Mel. I wasn't sure. Mel is one that I was having trouble figuring out. I thought what they might do with Mel broadly is if there was an Ionian invasion, she would kind of be they would kind of use her to try and act as like Ionia's advocate within Noxus, as sort of like a, her mom having such a severe hand in like the first invasion, Mel kind of coming at it with this ideal of compassion and sort of like being the opposite, the anti-Amdessa, and like trying to help Ionia.
Yeah, I could see that for her. That would
But
be
I don't know,
nice.
in the immediate, because she's in that cinematic. I don't know if they're just trying to like tie up where she's coming from, and she's in like the motion comics too. So it's like it feels like she's gonna have more going on, but I don't know.
Right.
Maybe they're just kind of tying off Arcane a little bit. I don't know. Maybe. Oh, you know what she'll probably do? Sorry, is she'll probably be on Team Ionia at some point.
I was
that will be
thinking
the
that
tension.
there would be. You had said something about Ionia teaming up. I figured there'd be another like Ionian skin line aside from Spirit Blossom, because Spirit Blossom's not canon. I think in this like season now, because they're all not Ionian champions who are getting Spirit Blossom. I think I read somewhere that they weren't going to be canon. Like,
Yeah. Oh, like these champions specifically.
Yeah. So I was hoping for a canon skin line that was tied to Ionia. Go ahead, Mark. Sorry.
I was gonna say, because I watched like the dev blog about like the season 2 release, and I thought my reading on what they were saying was that it is canon, but it's just like they're adding to the Spirit Blossom kind of pantheon mythology of it.
Okay.
Right? Like these are sort of representations of things.
Oh yes, I did
like,
read that.
tales.
Yes, stories passed down kind of thing.
Yeah, so I mean, like for example, Thresh is kind of in the mix in Spirit Blossom, but he's certainly not an Ionian champion.
Yes, right? I also read that they had wanted to be able to make skin lines or add people to skin lines without having to come up with like an alternate universe, a whole big alternate universe thing for it, like a whole story and everything.
League 2.0.
I guess so. But because Noxus got Chosen of the Wolf and Grand Reckoning skins during the event, I feel like there would be another Ionian one. And I would like to see a group of people like Aurelia, like Kennen, like Karma, people who have separately talked about getting together and preparing for a Noxus invasion, coming together, suiting up in a way that's like the Sentinels, but cooler.
Skin lines for the second Noxian invasion cinematic, like skin lines for all the champions in the Awakened cinematic, basically.
Yeah, basically, I guess. Yeah.
Sure.
Because I'm trying to think of what else would be going on in Ionia that people could get a skin from it, but who knows? I guess a Spirit Realm thing, but that's Spirit Blossom. I don't know.
Well, I mean, Spirit Blossom kind of still has its own unique thing. Kind of, you could it'd be interesting to try and do like just a raw Spirit Realm version of like
of everybody champions. Of certain champs. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Can we call them the Archipelago Squad?
Sure.
That's what I was going to ask. Is what's their team name going to be?
I couldn't think of one. I'm sorry.
Ionia is plural.
We is Ionia. We are
so can you.
Ionia, and so can you. Yeah.
I think that's mostly it for the stuff I had for kind of what's going to happen in season 2. I think we'll probably come to a conclusion of both teams I reaching this darkened weapon, and I'm liking it kind of being something that Xinjiao in some ways like able to scamper away with, perhaps, or maybe something like that.
Yeah.
I am hoping for, and I do think we'll get another written story to do with this. I'm hoping for a longer one. I don't think we'll get a novel like they got in Bessa for Noxus. I think we would have heard about a novel, but a novella or a longer form story or comic, I would really want to see.
Now, I do have a prediction
Oh.
around, I guess, 2 of those things.
Oh.
Another novel is going to be leaked, but we're not going to get any information about it by the end of the year.
Leaked, though.
It's just gonna be
Interesting.
leaked.
I do think
Oh.
there's going to be another novel upcoming, but I don't think it would be this year.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to officially release anything, but I do think we're going to get that.
Some
We're going to get
info.
that leak info before the end of the year.
Okay.
Are they gonna like file like a trademark for like some specific name? And
Right.
Say, oh, what's
Oh.
Yeah.
with Xinjiao
Some shit like that.
returns or something like that.
Return. I think the pilgrimage would be good, but
The other one is that we are going to get, I anticipate we're going to get more short stories this year. Not a lot. I'm predicting exactly 2 new short stories this
okay.
year.
Two feels reasonable. I give you a vote of confidence on your 2 short stories.
Now,
Yeah, I think that.
I think that
I
could
do
happen.
remember the other place that LeBlanc shows up, and in case it ties into any more predictions for y'all, there's a LeBlanc clone also tailing Vladimir, who's being very cagey and trying to do something in secret.
Okay.
This was one of my predictions: is that Vladimir will turn against LeBlanc.
I love this.
Because we've talked so much about how he's so not into
He's
it when
really
they're hanging
checked out. Yeah.
And I don't know what that will be. I still kind of like my thought of like maybe he thinks that Darken is a little too much, and he's just kind of like shuffling his feet a little bit, and maybe he'll try and actually stop the thing. I don't know.
That would be interesting.
Definitely a big splintering there.
I wonder who he could pair up with, if anybody. Mel.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know
Who
if
likes
he'd
to
pair up with
You know,
anyone.
train us?
I think there are a bunch of Ionians that have the enemy of my enemy is my friend mentality
Zed.
that he could pair up with.
Kane. And Kane is a Darken.
With yeah.
Well, kind
Oh
of.
wait, you're
He's
Darken.
like a half
Ooh.
Darken. Maybe that would help, though. Like, he would be able to.
Exposure therapy,
Well, no, just, understand the Darken more.
maybe.
And, I mean, there's not a lot of people who are half Darken, half human. Or sharing a body with a Darken.
Not a lot of humans winning their fight against
Yeah,
the
not
Dark.
a lot of humans winning their fight.
Yeah.
And he's from Noxus too, so little bonus for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Granted, he was a child soldier. Probably doesn't hold a lot of love for him, but
Yeah,
still.
I doubt Vlad knows about him.
I only had one other generic kind of prediction,
Okay.
not tied to a specific season or anything.
Yeah, I do too.
I think we are going to get one new champion released this year with an uncommon amount of attention and lore. Think along the lines of Viego.
Okay.
And then I think we're going to get one champion that's going to basically be snuck in with nothing but an announcement trailer like Smolder.
You think so?
Interesting.
I think that they are probably not going to do that anymore. I think all champions are now going to be trying to be woven into the ongoing sort of
Conflicts.
plot that has been going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get the
that's my
feeling
suspicion.
Smolder was intended to, because he's tied to Viego, kind of. But
Yeah.
I think it was just
Not
a big
until
ball
after.
drop.
Yeah. They forgot about him. He
Very
was
well
like
done.
gathering dust under someone's desk. And like, oh, guys,
Right,
we
the
forgot
drag.
to add Smolder to the Viego shit. God damn
Forgot about the
it.
fucking dragon.
That's
Sorry,
why
there's
Rise
just
of
a
the
lot
Sentinels
going on.
wasn't good. It would have been great if we just had
Little quipping
Spyro.
Smolder running around, little Scrappy Doo motherfucker.
Oh my god! That is the
Yeah,
most
tell me I'm wrong,
insulting thing you could have said about poor
He's
Smolder.
not that annoying.
This is scrappy too,
Scrappy
motherfucker.
people.
Mom.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean, I think 2 champions. Yeah, like I said, I think Wright will probably is going to at least this year. Oops, hit my mic. At least this year, they got a new idea and they're going to really commit to it. And all the new champions are going to be like kind of like Yunara, where at least they're going to be involved in what's happening kind of right now. Now, next year, season 2, who knows, right? Like, get a little long in the tooth on it. I mean, I think that's really like it's going to be that. Assuming that the Darken does not come to apotheosis this season, I think it will probably be the end of season 3 is where we will see that happen, and that may be our new champion coming out. I don't know.
That could be fun.
That's kind of my
I
feeling.
know more
I feel like
Ionia
they'll tease it, but not
predictions.
that.
Or season 2.
Yeah, I was trying to think what they might do in season 3. It's a lot harder because it's a lot further down the road. Now, Demacia was not in my predictions, but as we talked about it, I think it's hard too because we know there are shows that are going to be set in Demacia, which is like it biases my thinking a little bit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I thought like potentially they could take us to Shurima, right? They've got Darken, they've got Black Rose there still, they've got Noxus there, so they could be tying in a lot of these elements that are still they've kind of shown up earlier in the season. But if they keep bouncing between regions, they're gonna run out of like things that do, like they're gonna run out of things. Not too long, right? Like, there's only so many regions.
There's only so
right?
many.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
But whoever's in charge
So-
of creative now doesn't have to worry about that because
No,
no one
that'll be
ever holds
forever
that
from
job
now.
for longer than 3 years.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Well, Demacia is the
that's-
next season, right?
Of Arcane or
No,
of
no. It's going to be after Ionia, isn't it, Demacia?
Did they say that? If they did,
I thought
then
so. I might be very wrong. I'm so sorry.
It
I'm now
sounds
curious.
familiar, but I also don't know if it was like an official thing or.
We are
I know-
only the best.
I know those are the next Arcane shows, and I thought they were going to be what the map was, or the game was centered around.
Hold on, let's see. What's season 1? What do they call this? What do they call this? What is it? We're in Act 3. What do they call these again? Act 3? What am I talking about? Season
I don't
3. What am I talking
remember.
about? Christ almighty. See, now you got me really curious because I would really like to look that up and see if that's been confirmed. I know those shows are coming out, but it's like, who knows when those are gonna.
I might be so very wrong. It's okay. It wouldn't be a very thrilling map, I feel like, Demacia. Ionia, I'm so excited for that Spirit Blossom map, but I guess they did Noxus. You could do Demacia. A lot of Petricite.
Yeah, I mean, you could make the map. I'm sure you can make the map good. What I'm
Really
trying to think
anything,
is if
yeah.
they'll try and, like I said, pull away from. Well, the thing is, like, I know there's a show coming out, but I don't know when that's going to release, and it's kind
Yeah.
of weird to try and. It feels like there's certainly no way it's going to come out anytime soon.
No.
Yeah, so try and pull away from regions. So I thought maybe they might just go more broadly with the thematic of Darken themselves, or like
That would
after
be really
Shinchao
cool.
gets to Demacia, it would kind of pull back to the various Darken across the world, and maybe they're all kind of coalescing. They're coming to Demacia, Darken coming to Demacia to cause problems,
Ooh.
right? Something like that. I thought that was
Demacia
one
would
of my
hate that.
possibles. Yeah, right.
They wouldn't like it.
Yeah, and something like that. They're coming to get their fifth Darken, their Darken pal. Maybe not Kane. Maybe you get like a few like Neferi and
Yeah, Aatrox.
Aatrox, maybe something like that. Just get some in there.
Varus might show up.
Potentially,
Swearing up
yeah.
a storm.
Swear
He
us.
does. Swears.
So I think if they did something like that, that would, like I said, it would help them. It'd help them get a little more runway, get more room, and then we kind of culminate in, like, yeah, the Darken are successful, and they, Black, maybe even LeBlanc is kind of
Controlling
in
one of
some way
them.
involved, something
That'd be
like that. I'm
nice.
trying to think the dreaming pool thing is really interesting. Like, if she's got this host and it does get out of Ionia, what's the plan? Is she going to pull the guy out anyway? You know what I mean?
What is
Maybe
the
she-
dreaming pool for? Nothing, right?
It's really just a
Cinder just
prison.
kind of put that guy in there. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
a prison. Yeah.
And just to answer the earlier question, there's no confirmation. On
Okay,
what
no
season 3
confirmation
is.
on season 3. Okay, thank God. I don't want to
So it's still open ended, baby.
outside Dark Horse could be they're doing stuff with Yordles a bit more. They got the Brawl map. Maybe we could step into a Yordle space a little bit with it.
I'd be shocked and thrilled. I think Shurima makes the most sense with Darkin, although we've had like a big Shurima event in the past. Although, that was a long time ago.
I'm going to put Targon as my dark horse.
Targon.
Getting to the core of the Darkin.
Yeah, I mean they're very heavily tied there. You're not wrong. This is the thing is whenever I think about it being just a region, it just feels like, man, you got like, okay, you ticked off 3. And maybe that's the point. Maybe like they're just like, we'll do a big globe trot for the first couple of years of this, try and reintroduce everybody to the world like really more thoroughly. Because how many players don't know what the fuck a Targon is, right?
Literally.
Like,
yeah.
And
so maybe
we know deep down the reason for this, right? MMO.
Yeah, it is the MMO. And then once the MMO comes out, they won't have to do lore anymore. It'll all just be in the MMO.
Honestly, if they do good enough lore in the MMO, wouldn't even care.
I wouldn't give a fuck. Because you can keep updating
you
the
get to live
MMO.
it.
All the lore
You
would
get to
be in there.
in
And then League could just be its thing, and they could all just take a deep breath and be like, fuck, we can make whatever AUs and skins we want now. Doesn't matter.
Rest easy.
We'd never be able to skip dialogue in the MMO.
That's
God.
good. Savor it. Yeah, so like season 3 stuff was less predictions, more just like, I think, just ideas, just things that I thought maybe could happen, trying to kind of suggest where they might go. I don't want to stick myself to anything too thoroughly.
No, you gotta. That's what predictions are, baby. Go
That's
big.
True. Okay, I think
Swing
at
for
this
the
point, since we've been
fences.
talking about it, I'm gonna go with my Darkin idea. That's the one that's just the one I like the most. I think that they're gonna pull away from regions, and they're gonna do something that's more broad thematic to try and stretch it out a little bit, and we'll do Demacia at a later juncture when that show is closer to coming out.
What do you think the map would look like then? What would that look like in game, you think?
That's a really good point. I didn't think about that aspect of this this prediction. I don't know. What if you could have all sorts of crazy eyes in the
Sounds
the
horrible.
environment,
Just like
and stuff
blinking
that?
at all
Just all
times.
these eyes blinking at people would be like, can I turn this off?
I was gonna say they would need to
Please.
add some sort of functionality in there, kind of like
like spiders when
yeah,
you change
exactly.
spiders in games and stuff. Yeah.
Something, yes. I mean, something. I don't know. Maybe I was thinking like things from I was thinking about the Neferi cinematic as like broad visual inspo. That's a little bit out there, to be fair.
You know what? Here's my dark horse. It's gonna be the Void. The Void's gonna come out of nowhere. That's gonna be. We're finally gonna get the Void event. They're gonna be like Darkin.
What's darker than a Darkin? The Void.
I mean, you know what? I wouldn't be mad because we would, like you said, we at least get the Void event after we
I
got
know.
teased so
The
much.
Barren Pit will just expand, and it will just all
just
be
be the
Void
map.
shit. Yep.
Ooh, that would be. I mean, don't get me wrong. The broad idea of any sort of those theme maps with things like the Void,
I know.
I'm totally here for.
Every turret
I'll
is just a different like Baron head.
Yucky.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
Or like a Belveth fish or something.
a big one flop, like a big mouth bass. When you come too close to that,
It starts singing at you.
it starts singing at you. We gotta keep it a little light.
Man, I haven't
the
seen one of
horrible Void
those
map.
in person in so long.
Right? Honestly, the last one I saw in person was on the trail. I think when we did the Massachusetts section,
Oh, someone had one.
there was just one hanging on a tree randomly.
Oh my god,
In the middle of the woods.
that's amazing.
Talk about a trail marker.
Right?
There it is.
If only it worked. Did it work? That would have been.
didn't work.
I bet it did at some point, and
I'm
people would
sure
walk
it
by
did.
it, and then the big mouth bath would sing at them. We gotta fix it or get a new one.
Right,
Did they
get
still
some
make
new
it?
batteries
No,
in there?
there's no
They
way.
must.
They must.
Didn't Griffin buy 1 million packs of them or something?
I don't know.
I don't know. It's probably a joke he made in the
Yeah, I
recent
doubt.
Besties episode.
Anyway, enough about big mouth bass. All right, my prediction: big mouth bass is gonna be on every tree in game.
I like it.
Being a jungler has never been so obnoxious.
Now they're really gonna run it down. I can't do this, guys. I'm stealing your farm.
Man. I think
What else you got, Mark?
I think that's the only other thing I thought was like if they did pull the trigger on the Darkin instead of teasing it out so hard. What if they stay in Ionia? You'd have a Darkin starting to like popping up. I guess Varys is already there.
I like that because they're doing like a Spirit Blossom version of Ionia, so changing that into like a Darkin version could be fun. Especially if that Darkin weapon is in the Spirit Realm, it corrupting the Spirit Realm could be fun.
Right. Also, I think Varys isn't there anymore, is he? Isn't he back in Shurima at this point?
I think you're right. Who can keep track of these fucking Darkin?
I'm going to fucking Shurima.
He went to Shurima to gather the Darkin at the same time as a bunch of Darkin went to like, Ionia. I think all the Darkin are just trying to stay away from Varys, so they don't want to tell him.
They pass his ship, and he's like, "Hey, guys!" And they're like, "Fuck it down. Just pretend you're a Noxian."
Don't say anything. Don't say anything. He's screening their calls.
Fucking weirdo again who's got 3 people in his body. That sucks.
Varys, something's going on with my phone, man. It's like not getting the messages. It's like it says it was red. It's like, yeah, it's weird. I know
it's so weird though. My
one
phone
of the dogs
just, like,
must have done it, but like I didn't see it.
But Noxia phones never break.
That was incredible.
Get out of here. Jesus Grievous, man.
I had an AU prediction.
Ooh, okay.
I think we're going to get an addition to one of the big AUs. My feeling is High Noon. That would be fun. But I think like High Noon, Star Guardians. I'm trying to think of some of the other really big ones. Star Guardians got an update fairly recently, though, didn't it?
Yeah. Project hasn't gotten an update.
Project, yeah, that is a bigger one.
Project's big. I mean, Spirit Blossom's kind of big too. I was
gonna say
it is, yeah.
But maybe they do 2 big ones a year, maybe, right?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Do we have a big? We didn't have a big one this past season, did we?
Well, a big one. I don't think Star Guardians was this year, was it? The latest one, yeah. Oh, maybe it would be Star Guardians then.
Because we got Reckoner skins and we got
Chosen of the Wolf.
Mask. Yeah, Chosen of the Wolf is I think I like this, and then maybe just one a year. I don't know. I feel like there's room for 2. Like if they're doing the Spirit Blossom skins now, I feel like there's room for 2.
I'd hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too. I feel like it's gonna be Project because Project's the one I'd probably be the least interested in.
Yeah.
So that's probably what's gonna happen.
I know, me too. I'm always the least interested in those ones, but I mean they've got to have a big audience. You know, they keep making them.
They are now like kind of just releasing like a couple of skins or 1 or 2 skins in new things. Like we got a Battle Academia one, right? Recently, but wasn't it just like 1 or 2 champs who got it?
They talked about this in the dev.
I think they're looking to do that more, yeah.
Yeah. Exactly, where they want to be able to put things into the skin lines without having to be a big deal. We need 7 skins.
Yeah, we need a bunch of them. Mm-hmm. I like that.
As I'm thinking of it too, I think Project program type skins are also tied pretty heavily into this season of TFT, so I'd actually be kind of surprised if we didn't get more skins in that skin line.
Oh, well then there you go. I think that probably tracks then. Yeah, I like that. I was trying to think of a prediction for a new AU that might come out, but who is like, whatever, this is a completely blank
You just can't.
blank slate. We
Just
did a whole
shoot your
episode
shot,
about that.
baby.
I don't know. What's something? I got no idea. I literally have no idea. I'd have to sit and think about it in a different way than when we just made our own. Trying to predict what Riot will make for an AU.
I'm gonna say a Navori AU, where we get a bunch of Ionian champs that wouldn't typically be violent insurrectionists that join the cause.
All right, who would join the Navori Brotherhood?
Oh man, well they can throw it at anyone. Probably good guesses might be like Yi.
Yeah.
Yasuo,
Aurelia.
I don't know if
Zed,
Aurelia
maybe.
would. Aren't they too like noble?
She's pretty antithesis to it, but this is all about skin lines, baby.
That's
Everyone
true.
loves a good
Akali.
Aurelia skin.
yeah,
Akali
Akali,
definitely, yeah. Maybe even
like
Zed, pulling back from...
His shadow brothers, his shadow dorks. Is that what we call them?
Yeah, or like
Shadows.
even like an alter. If it's, I guess skins are trying to be like in canon, right? Like it was like the Grand Reckoning one, for example, right?
Yes.
Is that kind of in?
Ooh, hear me out
past?
here. Vlad.
Oh, that's interesting. I would love to see
Oh, I love that.
Ionia Vlad. Don't get me wrong.
That would be so cool. I was just thinking about something and I wanted to say, but you just like completely restarted my brain by thinking about Navori Brotherhood Vlad for some reason. That just
Hit the old reboot.
was really exciting. Okay,
Yeah, I'm liking it.
Kali.
I think you're right that like we should take cues from how they handled season 1, where there was like, where there's things that either like the Spirit Blossom, where it's kind of in canon but can still be in a fantastical setting, or something that's more grounded and like the Grand Reckoning type stuff.
Another potential for Ionia, and I don't know if this is stepping on the toes of some of the big mech kind of skins that they have, but an Ionian skin line where the champions are the ancient giants would be pretty cool.
Sure.
I don't remember much
Yeah,
about
the big
them.
titans.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it. It is hard, like you said, because there are skin lines where they're big mechs, or there's skin lines where they're big
Titan, like world-ending titans.
Like
world-ending
mountains and
titans.
shit.
These
Yeah.
are different titans, okay?
Or
Akali's just
You're right,
really
ones where
big
they're
now.
just normal mountains.
maybe instead we could do instead of them being the titans, they could be the a group of Vastayan champs from Ionia that are kind of the ancient, like God, what's the
Vastaya
the
Charade or something like
yeah,
that.
the Vastaya Charades, like the super primal Vastayans.
God, I wasn't even thinking about the science when I was thinking about the Darken weapon in Ionia.
It's true. It's
Yeah.
I mean,
I
that's
don't know what they're gonna do
Valan
with that.
from the Dreaming Pool. He's a Vastayan too, the guy who's in there right now.
Oh, I was just thinking, what if a Vastayan became a Darken? I think that would be really interesting.
Honestly, I think that lends more credence to that theory, because if nothing else, it's just an interesting idea for a champion and a champion silhouette, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember what kind of animal he was.
Yeah, what was
kind
he?
of
He was, I think, like a panther, wasn't he?
I'll take your word for it.
I love
Could be
that.
pretty cool.
He was some kind of
Now a cat and
predator
dog.
cat for sure.
Okay, we already have a dog Darken. A Dogkin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think I'll be down for that. Yeah.
They hate
Yeah,
each
I like
other.
Also, just the idea of, I don't know, there's something about a cat wielding a glaive that's just cool to me.
How does he carry it? Well, he's a humanoid. I'm picturing like Nidalee.
Like an actual cat. They got tails, right?
I'm curious, actually. I need to look up Valan and see if he was noted as using a specific weapon or if he just used his claws. I said Valan. I meant Kalan. Talons emerged from his fingertips and on the
Talons?
ridge of his forearms.
So probably not a panther then, huh?
Well, they came out. They came out in a way that read kind of like claws to me. You know, like
I like you
keep
doing
doing
your
this
claws.
most shit. I can't help it when like I think about like claws coming out. My body just starts going like, this is what you gotta do. You got claws now.
Not seeing anything.
I'm not seeing a specific weapon that he used here. He just kind of fucking manhandled them, basically. If he like put a blade through the first chest, and then it kind of seems like he dropped this blade and then just went hand to hand and absolutely wrecked the rest of them.
Maybe it got stuck. It's like, oh, it's easier to just let go, try and yank it out of this person.
Yeah,
I'm
but
liking
you know, he's at
Kalan.
least trained in the martial arts of blade work. He could wield a glaive.
And frankly, it seems like you don't even need to wield, like, be good at using it. They'll just,
That's true.
Are Darkin good at wielding themselves? Because they're their weapons, right?
Yeah, it is their weapon. It's just
Yeah,
he wouldn't be in there anymore. It wouldn't matter.
He
They
might
just
be,
need his
Or would
body.
he?
he might be a cane.
That's true. He might be in there.
Or a Kai and what's the
I
other?
don't remember
what
his
are the-
name.
Kai and Velmar.
That sounds good. Damn.
Ooh, okay.
Steel trap.
And also just, yeah, that's true, Kai Velmar. His fur was russet red, hung down his back in long, intricate, knotted braids. Proud face was akin to that of a great hunting cat and crisscrossed with scars from a lifetime of battle. Left side was furless, with angry red welts from burns he suffered as a young warrior.
Oh, okay. I thought like he just like was half human on the other side. That makes more sense.
And he has curling horns that sprout from his temples.
Huh.
Each engraved with spiraling runic patterns. And he has 3 tails.
Okay, this is a very distinct
guy's
form, at least.
Yeah, it's very dope.
Because I thought it was going to mix too much with Rengar, but
Rengar, yeah.
no, he sounds
I
very
wonder
different.
if when they wrote that, they had that thought in mind of like, this can't just be, okay,
Rengar.
it's like Rengar. It's got to be something
Right.
else.
Damn, that would be cool.
Okay, I like it. That could be a very distinct silhouette, right? You know, you've got the like the welting on you said on the one side, 3 tails, horns. Like, yeah, I think that would read very distinct. And then that through a darken filter. I'd be very curious. Very curious.
Do we think that Ezreal is going to have a part of anything? I only asked because he got that like invitation to the Black Rose skin, which that's canon, right? Like he got an invitation to go, which I assume the Black Rose isn't looking to recruit him. They want his, I don't know, stuff.
Artifacts.
His artifacts.
Yeah.
But Ezreal would not look into that, right? Like he wouldn't just be like, nah,
Right.
on the invitation.
Like
I also don't think he'd go in blindly. Does he know about
mean,
the Black Rose?
He does, because
Okay.
he was chased away from Noxus once by the Black
Right.
Rose.
I don't think he'd want to go back.
They did warn him not to come back, and then they invited him back.
Yeah, that's bizarre. That's weird, guys. Although
They were
Ezreal
drunk.
is...
They're just like, Ezreal, I miss you.
Just call him, girl. Call him. Write him a letter. He'll come back, I swear.
Now, I was reading one theory, actually, kind of about that cinematic, too, that said that potentially the host that LeBlanc had in mind was the person that Katarina assassinated, and either Swain or Vladimir hired Katarina to kill him.
It is interesting.
I like that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Very well could be, right? It would add some more weight to like what we see in that cinematic rather than being so random.
I also like the idea of it being Vlad over Swain because, you know, that first hint of betrayal from him comes that early, you know?
Yeah, maybe we'll get some reveals going on in here, right? Maybe we see Katarina showing up in this other thing too. I don't know.
That would be fun. Also,
She's so cool.
and I cannot wait to talk about this next week.
Oh,
But I'm not ruling out the fact that it could also have been LeBlanc hiring Katarina to fuck up LeBlanc's plan.
I cannot wait to talk about that.
Great.
Should we end on that cliffhanger, everybody?
Yeah, please do.
Any final thoughts?
Well, I don't know. I'm curious. You got me messed up. I don't know.
No,
I know
no,
it's
no.
hard. I think it's
want
gonna
to
be
know from next week.
okay. I think it's gonna be hard to pick out at least from some like because I was just kind of rambling and sort of like, oh, this could happen. This might. Like predictions that you can definitely say came true or didn't come true. And I'm sorry for that. I'm non-committal, and I like to just kind of talk about ideas.
I like to hard commit so that people can burn me in the comments when I turn out to be a fucking idiot.
Well, you know, the point is, you shoot for the moon, right? And you land among the stars.
Or the trolls. Well, those were our 2025 predictions. Thank you so much for listening. We have a twitch.tv/LoreHedge. John streams on the weekends, sometimes Saturdays or Sunday evenings. He does TFT and ARAMs with viewers, and he also does some indie games and demos, usually in that first hour or so of his stream. He'll post those VODs to YouTube, which we also have. And if you want to see our beautiful faces and see some fun clips and our claw fingers that Mark and I were doing for a while, you can check out our YouTube. John, you were reading something.
I was going to say, was
You can
I was
do
looking
it
at my
too.
phone.
Yeah. Yeah, you can join us in our claw fingies. We also have a Discord. If you want to find some people to chat with, play League with, post weird memes that make me feel bad about myself, join. Just kidding. Hey
Are
guys,
they bullying you? Are
Don't
you
post
being
memes
bullied?
that make her feel bad about herself.
did you see that latest one? That's why.
No.
No.
No, it did make me feel bad about myself. It was fine. But anyway, there's a link to the Discord in the episode description. We also have a Patreon. Thank you so much to all of our patrons.
But a very special thank you to our Medarda tier patrons, Mr. Dead and King of Hearts. If you were lore being released in 2025, I would predict you. It's kind of hard on this episode, you know? It's,
Predict them to succeed in every aspect of their life.
yeah, that.
Sure.
Just not predict you. I would predict you!
You know what? He's at least predicting that they'll still be here.
Oh, I love that.
They will be.
That's true. Anyway, please be sure to join us next week because we are going to be talking about LeBlanc's rework and, I mean, hopefully some other things, probably. Because I don't think that's going to have a lot, is it?
Who knows? It's
Who knows?
It's chock full of LeBlancs. It's
So
stuffed
many
with
LeBlancs.
So many LeBlancs.
So many LeBlancs.